The story of how this film happened actually begins in the Second World War with a small boy who had a dreadful stammer. And that little boy used to listen to King George VI on the radio during the war and reassured himself that the King of England could cope with the stammer, maybe there was hope for him. That little boy was the writer of the film, David Seidler. And as he grew up, King George VI was his boyhood hero, his inspiration, his guiding light. And when he became a writer, he dreamed of tackling the subject. He set about researching it, and he soon got blips on the radar of one Lionel Logue, who was the speech therapist, which of course was his particular interest in King George VI. And he tracked down a Valentine Logue, who was Lionel's son, living in London. And it turned out that Valentine said that his father had kept a diary of his relationship with King George VI, but he wouldn't give it to David unless he got permission from the palace. So David wrote to the palace, and amazingly got a personal letter back from the Queen Mother. And the Queen Mother said, yes, but please, not in my lifetime. The memories of these events are still too painful. So David, being a good loyal subject, waited, little realising the Queen Mother would live to 186. Anyway, 9 weeks before the shoot, my wonderful production designer Eve Stewart, who's an obsessive researcher, tracked down Lionel Logue's grandson, and this grandson had the very same papers. Luckily did not require me to write to the palace, and gave us access to these diaries, and so we were making the film with information about this story that no historian has ever read, has never been published, no member of the royal family has had access to, and some of the best lines in the movie are all written by King George VI and Lionel Logue.
Good.
I'll give you an example. At the end of the big speech, the king, Lionel says to the king, "Well, you still stammered on the W," and the king said, "Well, I had to throw in a few so they knew it was me." That was last said out loud by King George VI and Lionel Logue in 1939.